Na 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 na, dapat Tagum Radyo Eskwela na. Na 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 na, dapat Tagum Radyo Eskwela na.
Hello, dear viewers and listeners. Welcome to another episode of our Teleradyo Eskwela Tara Na, the School on the Air program of DepEd Tagum City. I am your teacher host, Mimi A. Luayon. Today, you will be learning about the Wonders of Microscope, a lesson in Grade 7 Science, Quarter 2, Module 2. Come and join us as we continue our hashtag scientific adventure. So, get your modules, notebooks, and pen, and be seated comfortably in your respective homes. Let me give you our teacher broadcaster, Ma'am Lily L. Cobrado.
Thank you, Mommy Me. Hello, dear students. We are very glad because despite the pandemic, we can continue to learn through our Teleradio Eskwela. Towards the end of our episode, you are expected to compare the image of the objects seen by the unaided eye and under the microscope, compute for the magnification of the objects observed under the microscope, and list down the steps of using the microscope properly. From your discussion in Module 1, you have learned about the history, parts of the microscope, and their corresponding functions. A microscope is a tool that is used to enlarge the view of a very small object or specimen to see its details clearly. Today, we will be learning about how to properly use a microscope in examining objects and samples that cannot be clearly seen with our unaided eye. When you first see a microscope, you might get too excited to look through the eyepiece. However, you might end up disappointed about seeing a dark view. Do not worry, because in this lesson, proper procedures are kept simple yet detailed for you. Imagine yourself to be in your science laboratory class. Your science teacher asked you to examine an onion under a microscope. What are you going to do? Do you know how to use the microscope? How do images form in a microscope? How do you manipulate the microscope? How can you produce clear and fine images of the specimen? What are the do's and don'ts when using a microscope? To answer these questions, at this point, let us explore how images are formed under a microscope. Open your module on page 5. The goal of this activity is to compare the images of the objects seen by the unaided eye and under the microscope, and to compute the magnification of the object observed under the microscope. There are ways to observe any specimen or object. First is by looking at it using your own eyes and by using the microscope. We have here two pictures of a small letter E mounted on a glass slide and placed on the stage of the microscope. This is what we normally see using our naked eye. On the other hand, the second picture shows what the small letter E looks like when viewed in a microscope. As you may notice, the small letter E now becomes inverted and enlarged as compared to the first picture. So how does letter E in the first picture differ from the second picture? The letter E is seen as inverted and enlarged. Now, if you will invert the letter E and look at it in a microscope, what will it look like? Correct! The image becomes upright. Now let us compute the magnification of the image formed in the microscope. Total magnification is the number of times the image of an object is enlarged. To compute the total magnification in a microscope, you need to multiply the eyepiece magnification and objective lens magnification. That is, total magnification is equal to eyepiece magnification times objective lens magnification. Let us take this for example. What is the total magnification of a microscope with a 10x eyepiece magnification and 4x scanning objective lens magnification? To answer the question, just simply multiply the values of eyepiece magnification, which is 10x or simply 10, and scanning objective lens magnification, which is 4x or simply 4. So that becomes 10 times 4 equals 40. Typically, you need to add the x symbol to indicate the power of magnification. Therefore, the total magnification is 40x, which means that the image of an object is magnified 40 times its actual size. This time, try to compute the total magnification in the following examples. Number 1. Eyepiece magnification is 10x, while objective lens magnification is in low power, which is 10x. The answer? 100x. Number 2. Eyepiece magnification is 10x, while objective lens magnification is in high power, which is 40x. The answer? 400x. Number 3. Eyepiece magnification is 10x, while objective lens magnification is in oil immersion, which is 100x. The answer? 1000x. If you got everything right, then good job. Remember that when using a microscope, the view of an object changes. In scanning view, the image is inverted position and is magnified 40 times. In low power view, the image is in inverted position and is magnified 100 times. While in oil immersion, the image is in inverted position and is magnified 400 times. Now think about this. How does magnification affect the image formed under a microscope? The answer? The greater the magnification power, the more focused or magnified image is produced. Take note that when viewing a specimen under a microscope, the image would appear upside down or backwards compared to what is seen in the glass slide. The two key features of microscope are resolution and magnification. Resolution is the ability to clearly see the details of an object viewed in a microscope, while magnification is the ability to make the image larger than it is in real life. Now, let us try the proper way of using a microscope. Open your module on page 7. Here is an activity entitled, "Tell me how to do it." Using the photos in your modules as clues, describe the process of using a microscope. I will give you 30 seconds to answer the activity. Time starts now. Time's up! Let us now check whether your answers are correct. Here are the correct steps to follow when using the microscope. First, place the microscope on a flat, sturdy, and clean surface. Always carry it in upright position using 2 hands, one in the arm while the other supports the base. Second, to avoid contaminating the specimen, wash your hands thoroughly. You may also wear proper laboratory gowns, gloves, or goggles, depending on the specimen to be studied. Third, Get the specimen you'd like to study and put it on the glass slide. You may drop small amount of water to keep it in place. Place the clean cover slip at a 45-degree angle and carefully let it fall on top of the slide. Fourth, by touching only the edges, place the glass slide on the stage and secure it with the 2 clips. Fifth, adjust the mirror until it reflects light upwards. In some microscopes, they have different source. Sixth, adjust the diaphragm until you get maximum amount of light. Seventh, start with the low power objective. Always start with the lowest magnification. Look through the eyepiece. Keep both eyes open. 8. Adjust the coarse adjustment knob until the specimen becomes clearer. 9th, rotate the revolving nosepiece to use the high power objective. You will hear a click sound when the objective lens is in place. You may use the fine adjustment knob to sharpen the focus. At this point, never use the coarse adjustment knob because it will break the glass slide. Last, when you're done examining the specimen, clean the glass slides and cover slips and store the microscope in a dust-free cabinet. Now that you have learned the proper steps in manipulating a microscope, you can now study the onion using a microscope. To view the specimen properly and safely in a microscope, always follow the steps discussed previously. Alright then, let us try to find out if you can still remember the steps. Say yes if the statement follows the rule in proper handling of a microscope, and no if it is not. Are you now ready? Number 1. Carry the microscope only by the arm. The answer? No. Number 2. Secure the slide with stage clips. Yes. Number 3. No matter what the specimen is, always start with low power magnifications. The answer? Yes. Number 4. Focus the image first with fine adjustment knob. The answer? No. 5. Use high power objective when using the coarse adjustment knob. The answer? No. If you get all the answers correctly, well done, students! Remember, you can always review the steps from your module if you find it difficult. Indeed, the discovery of microscope paved way to a whole new dimension in the realm of science. Who could have thought that a simple lens with a limited ability would lead to highly advanced microscope that could intensely examine very tiny objects like cells, atoms, virus, and other microorganisms? Going back from our objective, we have compared the image of the object seen by the unaided eye and under the microscope, computed for the magnification of the objects observed under the microscope, and listed down the steps of using the microscope properly. Good job, dear viewers and listeners! I hope you have learned an interesting lesson from our discussion today, and may this help you in your everyday life. With that, I'm glad that I was able to share significant learning with you. See you next time. Goodbye.
That was great. Thank you, Teacher Lily. That was very informative. Thank you, students, viewers, and listeners for tuning in. Hope you learned something today. For you to understand our topic further, you may do the exercises provided in your modules. You may also have an advanced study of your topics to prepare yourself for the next lesson. Stay tuned for more #Scientific Adventures. Please make sure to be with us next session here at School on the Air program of the Department of Education. This has been your host, Ma'am Mimi A. Luayon from Tagum City National High School. Keep safe, everyone. Bye for now.
Na 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 na, dapat Tagum Radyo Eskwela na. Na 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 na, dapat Tagum Radyo Eskwela na. Halika na at makinig sa mga aral naming hatid. Saang sulok ka man kapatid, aabutin ka ng aming tinig. Walang araw na sasayangin, edukasyon ipagpatuloy natin. Anumang pagsubok at mga balakid, kaalaman